So, any comments or questions on, okay. This is a question regarding doing these dates as weeks, and that's a good question. Let's go ahead and I'm going to group these instead of doing by year, month, quarter. I'm going to do it by week, and it does need to be instead, by the way. Let's talk a little bit about this. The way dates work inside the pivot table is they can be sorted, as you can see, simultaneously by a number of different what are called date parts: years, quarters, months, days, hours, minutes, etc., if the hours and minutes are included. If you want to do things as weeks, then you need to ungroup the way they are done and instead do days as a certain number of days to make a week. So I'm going to demonstrate that here. So the way to do that would be to say, okay, let's do these as days. Now, the dialog for a number of days does not get lit up, meaning that it's not really available here unless you turn off everything except the number of days. And then you can say, let's do number of days. Let's group them by number of days. Let's say 7 days. And the starting bid date by default is going to be 1/1/1989 because that's the earliest date that's represented in my data. And the latest date that's represented in my data right now is 12/12/2007. In your case, it could be something completely different. But for most date-oriented fields, Mastermind automatically does put 1/1/1989 for any blank ones. And the reason for that is 1/1/1989 falls on a Sunday. So that if I say okay to this, go ahead and group these in groups of 7 days, you'll see that all these dates right up until the most current ones actually do fall in calendar weeks where Sunday is the first date and Saturday, the following Saturday, is the last date. That doesn't mean that you're locked into using 1/1/1989. You can actually choose your own starting date for the week or even starting date for the grouping. We do 1/1/1989 only because we know that it's going to be typically before most dates that you have there, unless you've got a field that has birth dates or something, in which case you'll want to choose something else that makes sense for you. If you're reporting on only things for the year 2008, and you know that's all this report's ever going to do, you might want to choose a date early in 2008, but you may not want to use January 1st because that's not necessarily a Sunday. You want to just look at your calendar and say, okay, what is the date, what is the date right around January 1st that is a Sunday, and it happens that, let's see, December 30th last year of 2007 was a Sunday. So I get the same results pretty much by doing this if I were only reporting on 2008 data. In this case, my data is actually much earlier, so I'd have to go back to 2006 and choose another Sunday. But hopefully that gets across just the idea that you do need to think about at least what is going to be the first day of your week, and make sure that your first date in the grouping falls on that day. Okay, so there's been a number of comments that come up here. Is date format always month, day, and year, or MMDD YYY?